Hello, and thank you for watching this week's edition of Ask Ron, where Ron answers our Gold Club members' questions each and every week. My name is Luke, and I've got Ron here ready to answer your guys' questions. How are you doing today, Ron?
Outstanding. I can't get over this Florida weather, and I feel so sorry for those folks up there in the north. I mean, I think about you guys all the time.
I know, I feel bad for them too.
And I wonder why you're still there.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
Perfect. And just want to let you guys know, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask Ron, first make sure that you are a Gold Club member. You can get all of those details on our membership site at ronsgoldclub.com. As a member, you not only get this exclusive access to Ron where you can ask him questions directly, but there's also hundreds of indexed searchable trainings on just about every topic that Ron teaches, including all of our previous Ask Rons, in addition to content from a number of outside experts on various wealth building topics. But let's go ahead and get into these questions. All right, well, the first one I have from you is for Robert Straker. I appreciate you leaving the question, Robert. And it says, hello, Ron. This past February 1st, you had an online seminar titled Private Lending Made Easy. I had to work that day and could not attend. However, I did get to see a few moments here. From what I heard, you offered an online manual, which I tried to purchase when getting home to my credit card, but the seminar was already over and I couldn't order the manual. Okay. I want to order the manual, and what can I do to get a copy of it right away? Thanks in advance.
Well, all right. We did just film it on February 1st, but then it takes a little while to get it edited and get ready to go out. So it's ready now, and that's might be why your order didn't get accepted. It's a special, very special offer, very special short-term offer that we put together. In fact, I'll tell you what it consisted of. My entire wholesale course, which was just recently retaped as well. It alone was worth $1,000. And then my entire IRA system, which frankly you guys ought to have, because you are wasting the opportunity to grow wealthy tax-free using your IRA. You need to know this stuff. And you need to know how you can use your IRA, your kids' IRA, to put them through from birth to age 30. Any educational expense. Do one deal in their account and their education is paid for. People don't know that. They write a check, save up, and it's so simple. If you just understand what you're trying to accomplish and get them set up with a CESA, C-E-S-A, Coverdale Educational Savings Account. It's an amazing gift from the IRS, and you don't get very many of those. Might want to take advantage of that. So I got a whole course about IRAs completely because it's very important you integrate them with your real estate if you want to grow tax-free. Tax-free, you're going to grow rich 10 times faster than taxed. You might want to investigate it, okay? And then I got the land trust course as well, all the pile into that. And that's a whole, every question you can ever ask on a land trust. All of that we offered for $297. That's somewhere around $2,000 worth of training that we offered for $297. So if you're watching and you want the private lending course with all those bonuses, I guess there's a number on their screen somewhere, isn't there, they can call?
No, so what I'll do is everywhere that I'm posting this, I'll make sure to include the order page, which will also show them all the bonuses as well, Ron.
All right. Now, that is a very short-term offer, guys. So if you want that, you better get it now. Don't expect to come back here 2 weeks from now and see it up.
That's right.
All right. Well, thanks for that question, Robert.
Well, next one we have is from Brian Lucy saying, hi, Ron. So whenever we wholesale a property to another investor at the end of the year, are we responsible for sending the other investor the 1099 for whatever wholesale fee that we got? Or are they responsible to send us one?
I have never sent a buyer of my property a 1099 because I didn't pay them. They bought a house from me. That has nothing to do with a 1099.
All right. Next question is coming from Joe Sterling. Ron, have you had any look at the Structuring Your Empire course? I can't help but ask, with what just happened to Donald Trump in New York, would structuring his empire differently have given him any sort of protection? It's hard for me to imagine he actually is the direct owner of his assets in New York. What say you?
Well, I don't know how Donald Trump is structured. but I would bet good money you'll never see him pay that fine. So hold your breath on that one. And just don't imagine that he's going to let him get away with it, because if he appeals it, I am certain they're going to overturn it anyway. But I don't know how Donald Trump is structured. So even though if he was structured properly, they sued him for what they call fraud or bank fraud or whatever. It would have nothing to do with how he owns the properties, because they weren't suing for anything concerning the property per se. They were suing him personally. So getting a judgment against him, he would be protected to get that, because but if they're suing him personally and they win the case, they're going to get judgments against him personally. So there are many ways he could be structured so that they still can't take his assets for the judgment. But this is a criminal suit that they filed, not a civil suit. And so the gist of it is, I don't know the answer to that, because I don't know how he's structured.
All right, perfect. The next question that we have is from Jeremy Cepress. Apologize if I pronounced that last name wrong. And he asked, how can I speak to Ron on the phone?
On the phone?
On the
phone.
Well,
first of all, you guys got to start telling me what state you're in now, because that might affect the answers that I give you. And I'll tell you, I don't mind speaking to you. So I'm just not going to put my phone number all over the air right now. So Nick, are you there by any chance? Nick's not there. Okay. Well, Luke, tell
Ron, I'm there.
Okay. All right. Now give them an email number or even a text or whatever where he can send me his contact information, and I'll call him.
Yeah, typically Ron actually likes to reach out to you guys a lot, especially if he sees that you got a good deal on your hands, or you're about to mess something up big time. So the best way to do that is to send a question just like this to ask@ronlegrand.com, and we'll get those over to him. And if you want to talk to him and Ron thinks that he needs to get on the phone with you, then he'll give you a call. That's ask@ronlegrand.com.
So send it today, and I'll call you today. Luke, up to you to make sure you're looking out for it and get it.
Yes, sir, I will.
Okay.
Perfect. So Jeremy is actually in Texas. I just looked that up. So
good to know.
In Texas. And the next question is actually from him as well. Imagine it may be one of the reasons that he wants to talk to you. He said, I currently own a 11-unit multifamily apartment complex that I guaranteed the loan on. It has become a nightmare. How can I get out of this situation before losing my shirt? It's in a negative cash flow and bills are piling up. It is currently on the market. I just want to get rid of it now, since I've learned to never guarantee a loan again.
That's the same way I learned, my friend. Okay. Well, first of all, he didn't tell me whether you're behind on your payments or not, because if you are, we might be able to get the bank involved to give you a moratorium on them and then add your back payment into your principal balance. But you just want to get rid of it. So the easiest way to do that is to advertise it where you'll sell it for what you owe on it. But you then are telling them that well, not necessarily. You're looking for a cash buyer that'll pay off that underlying loan because it's in your name. Normally, you'd sell it subject to or on a wrap or whatever, but you got to get that out of your name. So the only way to do is to discount the crap out of it and sell it for what you owe on it to somebody who can go to the bank and get a loan so they can learn the same lessons that you've learned. And you are correct by getting this stuff out of your name. If you are behind, this is not one you're going to like, but you could ask the bank to take a deed in lieu of foreclosure, which would affect your credit, but don't worry about your credit. Get your credit back very quickly. If they accept the deed in lieu of foreclosure, then they cannot come back after you for a deficiency judgment. That's federal law. So that might be a reason why they may not accept it if they think they can collect from you. But you didn't give me the numbers. So if you still want to talk about that more, just give me the call and I'll call you back.
Perfect. The next one is coming from Tim Matthews in Illinois. Mm-hmm. He's asking, when taking over the property subject to, why is it recommended to also get the seller to finance the equity to you via seller financing? how would you structure this debt as a junior lien against the property?
First of all, your question makes absolutely no sense. You're either going to buy it with owner financing or you're going to take it subject to. You don't do both. So if you're going to buy it for subject to, the owner's not getting any payments out of it. You're going to pay the bank directly, and if the owner gets a little cash, you're going to give them that at the time you close. But if you buy it on a wraparound mortgage and you owe the seller more money above what they owe to the bank, that's part of your wrap. There's no second lien on it. A wrap is a second if there's a first on it. So you would buy it on a wraparound mortgage. And if you don't understand what that means, then you need to get a little training here, because just your question tells me that you have not got enough training yet. So if that doesn't answer your question the way you thought it was being asked, then fire another one back and we'll get it answered next time. Or go to Ask Ron and I'll do it there as well.
Awesome. And this is a follow-up question from Tim Matthews. It was on the same post on the forum. He asked, how does the seller get access to the equity such that they can give it to me? Do they have to take out a HELOC?
He wants them to get access to their equity so they can give it to him.
That's what the question says. Yes, sir.
Then another irrelevant question that does not make sense. We don't have sellers write us a check. We write them a check. I don't know where you get that idea from. They're not going to finance their equity and just hand the money over to you. Sounds like you need to get some training, because you're going down the wrong path and probably listening to the wrong people. So I don't know what to tell you, except you need to get my terms course, because that's all about the terms deals that you're talking about. And we got a very, 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 very special deal on that right now. Get a hold of our office and tell them you're watching this and you want a really good deal on the terms course. And it's packaged with a whole bunch of other bonuses. We're really running some specials this month, and this is your chance to do that very inexpensively. But you've got to get some education behind you, because your questions tell me you need that first before you worry about buying anything.
Awesome. And I'll make sure to include the phone number to get in contact with our office in the description as well.
All right.
And then the last question that we have from Ron is from Jeremy Cepress again over in Texas. And he is asking, can a virtual assistant contact a lead you find without a phone number? Let's say I have leads, but only their addresses.
No. You can have it skip traced and get the phone number and then send it to the VA, but you might as well just call it yourself, because you don't even know for sure the phone number is any good. But we have to have a phone number, because that's the only way our VAs are going to be able to call them. Now, if you got their address, you can always send them a letter without skip tracing it. We can address where they live now, but skip tracing is cheap. I forgot who we would use. There's several. Something I can't remember. Tons of skip traces. In fact, we do it on our dream system too, don't we, Nick? As I can remember.
No, we have skip tracing. We usually have findtheseller.com.
Findthesellers.com. Okay.
Yep. I think that's Cameron over there.
There's a ton of them. Just go to Google and look up for skip traces. You'll see a ton of them there.
All right. That concludes all the questions, but I do have a little bit of something extra that I wanted to go over this week. So recently, you posted on Facebook and asked your students kind of comment back to you and tell you what originally got them interested in investing in real estate. Well over 20, 30 comments, but I just wanted to read 4 of them to you real quick.
Sure. I'd like to know that.
Yeah. So a couple of these names will probably be familiar to you too. So Kelly Shepard commented on Facebook that she originally took a lot of classes and that's what got her interested in real estate. But she said that yours were the best by far.
Oh, thank you, Kelly. I'll send you the check. I think I got the right address.
Yeah, and she said,
just kidding. Crap. Okay.
She followed up and said, for some reason, I do still struggle a little bit in class. But I do find them very interesting. She said, I even buy his old CDs from 20 years ago and ride around in the work truck listening to them.
CDs, man, I go back to 8-track tapes. No, I really do. I really do. Yeah.
I talked to a student the other day that said he still had your cassettes. So.
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, VHS tapes. I go back to VHS tapes.
And then the next one is coming from Edwina Foster Rich. She said, not to put too much of my business on your page, Ron, but I actually worked for you. I loved my job, but I also made sure that I paid attention and listened. She said that she bought her first home in 2022, and that being brief with you, that Everett and her are no longer broke. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Very welcome. Glad you're listening.
And next one was from John Huback and Sanad Cincy. They said what inspired them was your stories and your teachings.
My what in my teaching?
Your story of what
Yeah.
originally inspired you, and then your teachings.
I got a ton of them. Okay.
My personal favorite
Yeah.
from Carl Hoffman. He said, I attended one of your seminars in Houston in 1997. Since I have purchased hundreds of houses and life has become a dream come true.
Well, very nice, Tom. How about sending me a letter to that effect?
Mm-hmm.
If you will, just sit down and write a half a page or 1-page letter. Maybe you can send me your photo with it and we'll publish it if you don't mind. And if you don't want me to publish it, just tell me, but I'd still like the letter.
We'll put it here on the wall in our office, right?
I love to hear from folks like this. We should do more of this.
I agree.
You can read me some more of those answers next week, if you will.
Oh yeah, I definitely can. And I'm going to start asking questions to our students, on posts like that every week. I'm going to run them by you first.
Okay.
See what you want.
I'm always glad to hear from the old timers. Nick, I've been thinking about doing an event just for the old timers.
For the old timers,
just for the old timers.
For what, 10 years or 20 years or what?
I haven't figured that out yet, man. Come on. Right now it's just a thought, but I think that'd be a good group of people to get around. I know that. To be with. I mean, we got people been 25 years or more. And everywhere I go, some of them come in the room, or some of them laid off for a while, and I want to get back into business. But they all keep coming back to Papa, and I kind of enjoy hanging around them, hear their stories.
I replied to that post too, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
My own answer on basically, I got started obviously working for you 17 years ago now.
Yeah.
And when I first started, I just got brought on as handling the websites, like doing the website design and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty skeptical about this stuff. I'm like, all right, what is it I'm getting into? Is this one of those get rich quick schemes or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty skeptical about it, but being in the market department, I would get about every week I would get probably 2 to 3 testimonial letters that I had to add to the website. And I'm like, all right, I didn't believe them at first, but then after about 6 or 7 weeks, I'm like, these guys can't all be related to Ron. They can't all be made up, right?
I don't have that many relatives. Is that what you're saying? You can't walk through our building though without seeing letters on the walls from so many people. But I understand the skepticism. Frankly, I'd be skeptical too if I was just entering this business today with all the scams out there that there are. I get it. But the only way you're going to get over that is to look at proof. If not your proof, look at other people's proof, like you just said. Until you get your own proof. That first check is always the most important check in your life, because that lets you know that not only it'll work here, but it'll work now, but it'll work for you. And it's going to take a check to make you really believe that. All right, guys, anything else?
No, that's it.
All right.
All for you.
Okay. See you all next week.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Ron. You have a good one.
Okay.
Bye.